Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. Today is Friday, November 18th. Right now, we're going to talk with MMA and boxing analyst Andreas Hale about the huge fight that goes tomorrow on Saturday, Kovalev and Andre Ward. Andreas Hale, thanks so much for being back with us.
Hey, appreciate it.
All right, now this is for anyone who follows boxing. This is a huge, for anyone who doesn't follow boxing closely. This is a hugely anticipated fight. Both of these fighters supremely talented, and they're both going to get tested more than they've been at any other point in their careers. So this is going to be a huge fight. As you would expect, the lines are pretty competitive. Ward is a small favorite at minus 140. Kovalev on the other side about plus 120. The fight is expected to go the distance, 11.5 rounds. The over is minus 160, but that's not a huge favorite line there for going over 11.5 rounds. I don't know, Andreas Hale. It'll be interesting to hear what you have to say about this from a betting perspective, because from my perspective, it looks like it's going to be a great fight to watch, a great fight to analyze and think about and then talk about afterwards. From a betting perspective, though, I don't know. It looks too scary. I wouldn't want to bet against either of these guys, and I wouldn't want to bet on any specific outcome either. What's your take on this fight from a betting perspective, Andreas?
Peter, I agree with you 100%. Mm-hmm. This is a coin flip of a fight.
Right.
We rarely have these fights where you have two high-level guys. It's only the third time in the Ring Magazine's pound-for-pound history, which is 26 years, that two of the top 5 guys in the pound-for-pound list have faced each other. You got two completely contrasting styles. You got Andre Ward, who's a defensive-minded fighter. You got Sergey Kovalev, who's very offensive-minded but a very underrated boxer. This is hard. If you put a gun to my head, I still have a hard time picking this fight.
Right.
If I had to go out on a limb and if I had to tell people what to bet on to try to find some value, I would have to pick Sergey Kovalev strictly off of the activity, how he manhandled Bernard Hopkins. He's making Ward come up to his weight, which is light heavyweight. He's the bigger puncher. But that's not with a lot of confidence. You know,
right.
I mean, even the line there is not that desirable to take Sergey Kovalev over a guy who hasn't lost since I think he was 12 years old in Andre Ward. I'm having a hard time with this. I don't know where the value is.
All right. See, I completely agree with you, except that if I had a gun to my head, an actual literal gun to my head, I had to make a pick, I think I would go with Ward, even at minus 140, only because the way I see this fight is if it plays out as people are expecting, Ward, I think, outpoints him slightly and gets decision. My sense is that the only way really that Kovalev wins is if he catches him and maybe knocks him out. But if I don't see any way that unless Ward slips for a half a minute or something and gets caught, he's just too skilled of a fighter and too elite of a tactician to lose this fight on the cards.
I agree with you for the most part. My only trouble with Andre Ward is his competition for the last 3 years has been less than stellar.
Right.
Sullivan Barrera, Paul Smith, Alexander Brand are very, very low-ranked fighters. And Ward looked kind of vulnerable against Sullivan Barrera. If Barrera had a little bit of punching power, he could have hurt him. My thing about Sergey Kovalev and looking at this fight from a Vegas perspective and the judges here, Kovalev might win this fight based off activity. If Ward has too many lows in the action and Kovalev takes advantage of those spots, he could steal a few rounds and win this fight. I actually have Sergey Kovalev winning a split decision, not with a lot of confidence. But again, there's only value here if you're going to look for Sergey Kovalev by knockout early in the fight. I believe the over-under is, 9.5 rounds?
I'm sorry, the total, the over-under?
The total, yeah.
It's actually, what I saw was 11.5 minus 160. So the market is saying that this is more likely than not going to go the distance.
Yeah, this is I'm staying far.
Yeah, it's
far
tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
you thought you had an angle, but then I gave you the market line, and you're like, man, the market has a good read on this.
Yeah. I'm staying there. If I'm a betting player, I'm just staying away. I have better things to bet on than this fight. I'll just enjoy it.
Exactly. And that's the problem is if we do see a very close fight that goes to the judges, which is what I think a lot of people are expecting, then you really have a coin flip because then, the judges might give a decision that a lot of people disagree with. So you can't even be sure that the judges are going to see it the same way that you see it or that the majority of analysts think it should be called, right?
Yeah, I mean, the only other possible scenario I can see here is betting on a draw.
Right.
This fight should be nip and tuck and very close. But other than that, again, enjoy the fight, and hopefully we'll get a trilogy out of this because there's nothing else for these two guys to do but fight each other.
Absolutely. All right, Andreas Hale, thanks so much for your thoughts. As always, talk to you again very soon.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.